/R, and then you just type how many d6 you require, and then an exclamation mark makes them exploding ones, because in this game you keep rolling the sixes. So that should, if you just want to give that a quick practice run.
Is it like this? No, I don't think so. Is it all in? Can you give us an example, actually?
Yeah, so I'll just paste one there. Do you see that?
Put it somewhere else?
In the general chat box.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm
gonna have to switch windows to see it. Maybe you can just put it in the group. Well, that's fine, I guess.
I think I'd need to invite the dice rolling bot.
Ah, I see. Got it. Yeah.
I mean, if that becomes too clunky, I wonder. I mean, I can roll the dice for you, Josh, or Alp could. It's just, I guess that's not as interesting for you to.
I mean, I can use my physical dice.
Oh, perfect. Well, let's ignore the bot, and then you know.
Do it as we go. And
and
try and remember what I meant to roll.
Yeah. So let me close that. Get my screen up and get going, I suppose. I do wonder if I should. I've got the Weave app on my camera broadcasting, but if you look at that, you might get some hints at what I'm going to be doing to you. So I might just hide that from your view for now. Maybe when I.
It's not readable at all. Don't worry. It's really
right. Well,
at least for me.
Okay, well I'll put it back on, because I think on the actual Twitch broadcast it might be a bit.
Ignore it.
Yeah. Try not to look at it and spoil anything. So I know, Josh, you've played Gloomies with me before, so you know the kind of 80s spooky, mysterious science fiction, ghosts, vampires, werewolves kind of world. It is all set in the 80s. And Alp, I think, have you played the Gloomies setting before?
I haven't, but I've watched a few sessions on YouTube. So and I've watched Stranger Things, so I'm quite okay with the concept.
And Goonies and things like that. So I think it's a given that your characters are pretty aware of what's going on in this town. They're not naive to the strange and wonderful things go on. And I suspect as children, they've probably and teenagers, they probably don't know any different. Maybe they don't realise that it's that strange. They're just getting through their days dealing with it. Also, I suppose in the 80s you might get an idea from other towns and cities that maybe my town isn't quite as normal as it should be. But I think I expect to some level that they're kind of used to these strange goings on. So let's get started. So I thought I'll just set a little bit of backstory and then get you to introduce your characters. So the story started as a prologue, I suppose, in detention. You're in science class, detention at the school, and when the science teacher's back's turned, as a joke, one of you steals his pride and joy, he's got this little desktop computer, but it's quite small, it's quite modern for the times, that he takes about with him. He plugs it into this little car battery to power it, and to teach him a lesson, because he's a bit of a creep. He's got a reputation for creeping people out, asking them personal questions. There's even stories about him at school that he when no one's watching, he'll pluck a hair out of people's head and put it in his pocket and keep little mementos. No staff have been able to catch him or bring him to discipline for this, but this is the rumour that the kids put about him. So nobody likes him, and it's probably the reason you're in detention in the first place. You've been cheeking him. So you maybe decide which one of you grabbed grab the computer. Is anything in your backstories that would make you the sneaky one that would?
Not me.
Not you, Alp.
Not particularly.
Okay.
But yeah. I do like technology. It's definitely not the kind to get into trouble so much. But,
okay. Well, okay. Maybe your like for technology and your dislike for the school teacher overrode your better nature, and you quickly throw it in your bag, or maybe something unknown just compelled you to take that. So you make a quick exit out of science class, and this is where the story begins. Now you know that the place that you know that has a similar computer and connected to a battery that you could connect this to is in the library, and you're really good friends with the librarian. He's a bit of a fellow geek and interested in similar things to you two, and you know he'll let you borrow the battery from that. So you find yourself, you're at the library, and he's a bit of an eccentric fellow. He's the librarian. Let's call him Brian. And Brian always challenges you. This is a ritual that you always have to go through with Brian, even though he knows you very well. He challenges you at the door and says, "Who are you? Tell me your backstory, and a bit of your backstory and talents to prove who you are." So maybe.
Right.
And you're Captain Floyd, are you, Alp?
Yeah, so it's Floyd, but he likes to be called Captain Floyd.
So he looks directly at you, Captain Floyd, and says, "Okay then, you know the drill. What's your backstory?"
All right. Well, in terms of my family, nothing much to say there. It's quite unusual actually for this town, but I have a very loving and caring family. So this is not the typical type of family that's usually got a lot of problems, as we know. That's not my case. I've been in this town for all my life, but I aspire to bigger things. There's something calling me out there, and it's treasure. I'm a big fan of pirates and pirate stories. I know everything there is to know about pirates. So I'm basically getting ready in my life to take on the call for adventure and find some treasure. But I am gifted, as they say. So I've skipped 2 classes in school. So I'm definitely the youngest one in my class. Things of the brain come easy to me. What else? Did I skip anything? Nope. Okay. In terms of talents, because of my passion for pirates, I've learned Spanish, and I read the old diaries of the pirates of the old times fluently, and I can speak it as well. I'm kind of a gadget inventor, so I always have some kind of gimbals or some cool device that I've just made up. It doesn't always do what it's supposed to, but it's always cool to look at and see whatever happens. That's probably why I got into this whole device that I just stole. I'm very open-minded to strange things, and I just accept them, and I'm always excited to discover these new weird stuff happening in our town. I love to dress up as a pirate. I do that from time to time, but eye patch in the whole thing, so that makes me actually quite good at disguising myself in ways, not only as a pirate, but that's definitely my favorite, if I can pick that. And I'm a fast talker, so definitely easy for me to just charm someone or just find my way out of a tight spot. I know a lot about history, especially when it comes to pirates, of course. In terms of flaws, I fall in love very, very regularly.
Okay.
Every pretty girl in town, I've asked her out at some point, if I dared. Usually the answer is no, but that's okay. And I'm easily, I like to tag along to whatever others I like to do. So if somebody has a great idea, I'm usually going to tag along with that. And I carry a bag of precious gems coming from a pirate treasure, which I've discovered, of course. And I have a funky-looking futuristic communicator thingy, which I'm not quite sure what it does. I haven't actually used it yet, but
Handy.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I picked that computer. Is I can hook it up to this communicator thingy and see what it does.
Okay. And do you want to maybe share some of your flaws? I'm just. Oh yeah, you said that about the crush.
Yeah, so I basically get a crush on pretty much anyone who meets my low standards, and easily swayed. So if anybody comes up with a compelling argument about something, I'll go for it.
Okay. And did I say the librarian's called Brown? And he's got one glass eye, so you're not really clear if he's looking at you, Alp, or what's your character called, Josh? Lewis, or if he's looking at Lewis. So and he just stands there staring at you. So Lewis, you think it's your go, and that he was happy with Captain Floyd's description, but so I think go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Well, I'm Lewis. I mean, I live on my own. A little bit weird, I know, but I got this massive house. You'll never believe it. Massive house, no parents. Well, we'll go into that another time. But no parents, and yeah, it's great. I'm not lonely at all, honest. And you know what? I'm a really good hang glider. Really good. I may only be 5 years old, apparently, but
Okay.
I'm such a good hang glider. You would not believe it. But yeah, I don't know why I'm hanging out with all the big kids. I don't even know why I was in that class. I am only 5 years old. No mention of me being gifted, so I'm just there. So, yeah, I'm definitely.
Stranger things have happened in Gloomies, I think.
Yes. So yeah, just.
Clerical error.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I took the wrong turn, wrong class.
never been sorted out.
As for my talents, now I can talk to ghosts. I've never actually spoken to one, but I'm pretty sure if the time came, I could do it.
That's like the old I'm Santa Claus. You've never seen me in the same room with him, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. Talking to ghosts all the time, possibly in the future. You never know. I'm also a little bit psychic.